Hi, it's Karon Thackston with marketingwords.com. I want to talk to you a little bit today about conducting A/B split tests for your website pages and how important this is to do, and an easy way to create and evaluate those split tests when you use Thrive Optimize for your WordPress pages. The reason that you want to test all of your web pages is so that you can get the best performance. You want to be certain that the design elements attract and appeal to your customers, that the copy speaks to them, that the offer you have is enticing enough to be able to get people to take the action that you want to take. And because there are literally an unlimited number of ways to create a WordPress page, that leaves a lot of room for interpretation. So you want to go through and test all of these elements to be sure that your page is performing at optimum. So that's what we're going to talk about today. This is an example page, and I even put the word test up here so I would not accidentally save it to the live version of this particular page. This is a product that I sell at Marketing Words. It's an ebook, and we're going to use this as part of the example. Then I'll take you into the Thrive Optimized dashboard and let you see an existing test that I just started running. And we'll work around with some data in there and some tips for you as well. When I first begin a test, I usually will create two entirely different versions of the page, complete opposites. And tests could be anything from the colors of the page, the theme of the page, the layout, the copy, the images, headlines, the approach that you're taking to the page. Anything and everything can give you different ways that you can test. You just simply work from extreme opposite approaches and then continue your testing until you've brought the two of those close together and you see a result that consistently outperforms your other tests. So it can be a little bit of a process, but when you use something like Thrive Optimize to do the testing, it makes it so much easier. I am not a techie person, and even I can set up and run these tests. What you need to know is that these are for WordPress pages, and they do need to be created in Thrive Architect. That's Thrive's version of a page builder. So those two things will work together. Thrive Architect will create the pages, and then Thrive Optimize will go in and be able to test the pages. This page has already been created using Thrive Architect, and it is my test page. This is going to be the original or the control. And we're going to come over here and see this A/B symbol says create new test. It brings up the test creation page where you can add variations. It tells you this is the control, and you can see a little snippet. And if you click this, you can duplicate the variation. If you do want to create something radically different, you can do that separately and then add the new variation. For the sake of our example, I'm just going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to click this little pencil, which will tell me I can edit that. Right now it just says copy of. I can make that whatever name I want it to be that gives me an idea when I look at the test results about which page is which. You can duplicate it again with as many variations as you want. You can archive it here. You can delete it. If you click in the middle, you're able to edit this particular variation of the page. We'll let this come up. So maybe I want to start out with something that is extremely different. So I'm going to go down and I'm just for the sake of example, I'm going to delete some of these elements on our variation and we'll make this copy shorter. Maybe we just want to give folks a little bit of the information and not all of it. So I'll take some of those out. You can do whatever you want to. I could take out, one of these testimonials and make that one bigger. I can grab one of these and move it over here to the side and switch it and have 3 in a row. I can do all sorts of cool drag and drop things in here. Move buy buttons around. Maybe we want to put a buy button earlier on the page, so I can duplicate that buy button and then I can just drag this up here, and maybe after they've read some testimonials and they've got a little confidence, we'll put a buy button there. All sorts of things. Thrive Architect is the page builder and it is just so cool. Drag and drop, has built-in themes and all sorts of other things that you can choose from. So after we've gotten everything where we want it to be, we are going to go back to the testing dashboard. Oh, have to save work. Okay, and then we'll go back to the testing dashboard. And you see that we have our original and our variation. How much traffic do you want to go to each? It defaults to distributing traffic evenly, and that's what I recommend. So we're going to leave that that way. Up here, set up and start A/B test. Split test name, whatever you want to name it. I'm going to say example blogging advantage test. You can add a short description if you want to. You can enable automatic winner settings. When you do that, it's going to put these defaults in that you can change, but I recommend that you play with this a little bit and watch how it affects the traffic that goes to each page. When the automatic winner settings are enabled, it will begin to present the one that's ahead more often than the one that's lagging behind. And in the beginning, that's usually what's going to happen. You'll see one that starts out better than the other. But as you go along over time, then it may eventually even out. So play with that and see how your tests are impacted by having it on and having it off. Sometimes I will opt to not include automatic winner settings. What that will do is once it sees that there's a page that's far ahead of the other one, it will go ahead and serve that up more and declare a winner. And I kind of sometimes like to just wait for the test to run itself all the way through and then choose the winner myself. So I'm going to leave that off for now. Next, you choose the type of test. If you do a revenue test, you can enter goals that are related to revenue. You type in whatever amount of money you would be making from each sale. If you want people to visit a goal page, which means you're not necessarily tracking revenue, you just want to be sure that they actually went through the process. They either made a purchase, they possibly opted in for something from a form that you created or whatnot. But here you will have to have what's called a goal page, a thank you page, if you will. And that's the one that I do the most. Subscriptions are just what that says. It will track how many people are subscribing to whatever you're offering on that page. So we're going to do a goal page. Search goal page. When you do this, it is looking for the name, for the title of the page on your site. It is not looking for the link. Sometimes people will type in or something like that. And this is not a page that it's able to pull up. So if you click down at the bottom, it's going to create a new page. If you need to create a new page, that's great. But what this particular screen is asking you for is the name or the title of the page. So let's see, I'm just going to pick one. Blogging Advantage, and all the pages that have that in there are coming up. So then I choose one. I'm just going to pick one at random. And I can start my A/B test. There we go. And it flips you over to the dashboard. Now, of course, there is no data in here at all because we just started this test. So let's look at one that's been running for just a day or two. And I'll go up here to the view test details. This is for a different product that I have for a copywriting course. But this one has a little bit of data behind it. And we can take a look at that. So in WordPress, you'll go up to View Test Details. And we see you get a graph, you get page conversion, and this changes with every single sale. So you can see there's not a lot of traffic here yet and just one conversion. And it tells you this is the control, this is the original one. And you have the ability to adjust settings on this test, how much traffic is going to each one. You can even edit the pages in the test by clicking on these little Thrive Architect icons. When you do that and you make a change, this is the variation, and I'm just going to do something so that it will think there is a change. And I'll click Save Work, and you get this warning. Reset the test data, and it's defaulted to do that. You're about to save changes in running a test. Sometimes this will invalidate the data and cause different reactions from people and whatnot, and that's absolutely true. Be careful though, because if you just, if you noticed a mistake, a typo, something like that, and you're only making corrections, you don't necessarily want to reset the current stats. So be careful of that. Save variation and update test. So we're going to do that. And it runs. And you can go back and check it in the dashboard at any time you want and make adjustments and whatnot until the test is completed. This one is set at automatic winner, is disabled. I can change that. I can stop the test and choose a winner now, and I have a lot of other options, but it's just that easy to do. The reason I use Thrive instead of lead pages, which I used to use, or ClickFunnels, which I've heard a lot about, comes down to price and the fact that the pages I create using the Thrive plugins are my own pages. I own them. And most people don't realize with lead pages and with ClickFunnels, you don't own your pages. If at some point you decide you don't want to continue your lead pages or your ClickFunnels account and you cancel it, your pages will go dead immediately. You will have to, and this is what I did when I switched from lead pages to Thrive, you will have to go in and recreate all of your pages in whichever new plugin you choose to use. I'm glad I realized that before I canceled my account, because I was going to cancel it and then, go to the different versions. So I had to set up Thrive first, recreate all the landing pages, and then give them over to Thrive. It's also a lot cheaper. I opted, because I'm using several of their plugins, I opted for the $19 a month plan, which gives me access to every single plugin Thrive Themes makes, and I can put it on whatever sites I want to put it on that I own for $19 a month. Way cheaper, and I own my own pages. If I decide to cancel, my pages will still operate. I don't get the new software updates and things like that, and I don't think I get support. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I still have my pages. They won't just all of a sudden disappear. Thrive's support is also phenomenal. They are very quick about answering questions. They will even log into your WordPress site and troubleshoot the problem for you for free if you want them to. So overall, I have been enormously pleased with Thrive Optimize, the testing tool, and Thrive Architect. I'm going to leave you my partner link below for this so that you can check it out. You can buy the different plugins individually if you want to, and that's okay too. But when it gets to a point that you're using several of these because they're so cool, it's just way less expensive to do the $19 a month plan. I'll leave the information below with my partner link for you. And if you have questions about A/B testing for your pages or about using Thrive Optimize, put them below. Happy to provide you with any information that I know in order to help you get done better. This is Karon Thackston with Marketing Words. Have a great day and go test some pages.